Now let's talk about this Maryland man, as Senator Van Hollen from Maryland referred to Abrego Garcia as. You know, Van Hollen goes on a plane, goes down to El Salvador, and initially is denied entrance to the prison, but ultimately he sits down and appears to have drinks with Abrego Garcia, number 35.
Now I just want to take a moment. I hadn't planned to do this, but as I was landing on the airplane, I got a transcript of some questions President Trump was asked at the White House today about what I would call Margarita Gate. I don't know if you guys have been following this, but President Bukele, you know, after I met with Kilmar, did this tweet showing us at a table with these two glasses. So here's what happened. When I first sat down with Kilmar, we just had glasses of water on the table. I think maybe some coffee. And as we were talking, one of the government people came over and deposited two other glasses on the table with ice, and I don't know if it was salt or sugar around the top, but they look like margaritas. And if you look at the one they put in front of Kilmar, it actually had a little less liquid than the one in front of me, to try to make it look, I assume, like he drank out of it. Let me just be very clear. Neither of us touched the drinks that were in front of us. And if you want to play a little Sherlock Holmes, I'll tell you how you can know that. So if you look at the video or the picture I sent out from the beginning of our meeting, you'll see there are no glasses on the table. So you'll see in later videos they are on the table. But they made a little mistake. For some people are very careful, right? If you sip out of one of those glasses, some of whatever it was, salt or sugar, would disappear. You would see a gap. There's no gap. Nobody drank any margaritas or sugar water or whatever it is. But this is a lesson into the lengths that President Bukele will do to deceive people about what's going on. And it's also shows the lengths that the Trump administration and the president will go to, because when he was asked about a reporter about this, he just went along for the ride.
Now, this is from the Tennessee Star. Headline: Biden's FBI ordered Tennessee Highway Patrol to release Maryland man recently deported to El Salvador after he was detained in a 2022 traffic stop on suspicion of human trafficking. I'm not making this up. Tennessee Star. It says the Tennessee Star has learned that Kilmar Abrego Garcia, an alleged member of the Central American gang MS-13, who was deported to El Salvador under President Trump, was suspected of being engaged in human trafficking by a Tennessee Highway Patrol officer who detained him in December 2022, leading the Tennessee Highway Patrol to contact the FBI for guidance. Within 2 hours, the FBI ultimately requested that the Tennessee Highway Patrol release Garcia and the passengers in the vehicle. Tennessee Highway Patrol complied with the request. Sources familiar with the incident say that Abrego Garcia was stopped for an unknown reason on December 6, 2022, and that the Tennessee Highway Patrol officer responsible for the stop immediately discovered Abrego Garcia was transporting 7 passengers with 8 individuals inside the vehicle. During a nearly 2-hour traffic stop, the Tennessee Highway Patrol officer determined that Abrego Garcia was operating the vehicle without a valid driver's license and began searching for information about him. Something about the traffic stop, writes the Tennessee Star, caused concern in the mind of the officer, so that and that other law enforcement agencies should be alerted. One source told the newspaper that the Tennessee Highway Patrol ultimately discovered Abrego Garcia was on a terror watch list, but could not locate Garcia on a deportation list. Another source told the paper that the Tennessee Highway Patrol did not discover Abrego Garcia on a terror watch list, but that another one of the 7 passengers in the vehicle may have been on the terror watch list. Tennessee Highway Patrol ultimately called the FBI, which was then led by Christopher Wray. FBI instructed the officers at the scene to capture photographs of all 8 people in the vehicle, document the contents. Once the photographs were captured, the FBI requested that the Tennessee Highway Patrol release all 8 individuals, and the Tennessee Highway Patrol officers complied with the request. The Star learned that the circumstances of the stop that made the officer responsible was concerned that Garcia was engaged in human trafficking. Garcia and his passengers were nonetheless released at the request of the FBI. Officer who detained Garcia temporarily is well respected within the Tennessee Highway Patrol. In response to inquiries, the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security both confirmed receiving the communication, and that communication staff would send responses which did not arrive prior to press time. So he was stopped on suspicion of human trafficking, and for whatever reason, after the FBI was contacted, the FBI told the Tennessee Highway Patrol officers to release all the people in the car. Unbelievable.